getting into a top-tier team like that.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of teething issues, and especially when we see these new players come in. CIS, I feel like, is the region you'll see the most kind of shift around these new players into the veteran squads, because it is almost every week you look at CIS, it's like, sorry, he was just playing for Na'Vi last week. Why is he now on Hellraisers or wherever he's going? It's always been that region which hasn't maybe had that much stability to their rosters.
Well, they have too many good players, mechanically good players, and everyone has played with everyone, right? What, you don't like CIS?
They have too many good players mechanically, but too many bad problems.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. That's
Brain,
true.
is this where we
Yeah, and then when you play with each other, always you kind of build up some problems, and then you get into a new team, maybe for a week or two. It's like the honeymoon period. You feel really good. First mistake comes up, and then it goes to hell.
I played with, who was it? Arzik and Roger in one team, right? We played for a couple of months at our pretty much end times, right? Arzik is flaming the living hell out of Roger. He's like, this guy sucks. I don't want to play with him anymore. So we kick Roger. Obviously, Roger was really good even then. We fail afterwards, team disbands. And then suddenly Roger's in Virtus Pro, and then Arzik is there as well, you know, and they're together. It's like constant love and hate relationships over there. You can hate each other for a week or two, but then you can play together until you find that right mix.
Oh, this actually clarifies something. When Arzik was standing in for Solo, I think Solo was ill some tournament, and then they asked him for an interview. He was talking about Roger, and he actually said some let's say bad things about him. He said
Classic.
like, you know, sometimes he dies for a reason, but most of the times he dies for no reason, and it just amounts to feeding. So we need to take care of that, and then he's gonna be awesome. So that was, and now this a little bit clarifies the situation.
And of course, you know, we spent a little bit of time talking that because that is your speciality. That's where you've played around with those players a lot. You understand them inside out. The final series will, of course, be EG versus Business Associates, Fear against, you know, the classic organization he was related to for a long time. But we won't have these guys analyze that too much. I'm not, you know, I don't want to step on the NA big brain. I think we'll have panelists later on in the day that are actually better tailored and suited to talk on that subject. But we have a draft, boys. And the banning phase, the first
back
phase
to SCA, we were talking about NA, about EU, CIS, and SCA is looking really strong right now. I have a feeling, if you remember, I don't know, 2014, 15, CIS was considered the breeding ground of new, mechanically super strong players, because that's all we had. We didn't have fancy PCs. You're lucky enough if you have a good internet connection to play all the time. And because of that, you have a lot of kids constantly playing Dots, right, and improving and getting better talents. There are so many big names coming now.
That's a fair point, right? Because we had the same with SA as well. It feels like, I don't know about you guys, I've looked at this in the past, I've gone, they've got so much talent, but if they could get the experienced captains, right, which are usually on the Westerner teams across there, suddenly they could be on a whole new level. And we start to see that in recent years, right?
Yeah, they've been doing that. And now March came there. I remember when 2 years ago, March was playing in Europe. And then after that, now that he's in SEA, they're having a lot of success.
Yep.
So I definitely agree with you. And we can maybe see even more captains going there, taking the squads and actually making some good results.
And we'll see right now, there's a draft going on. We'll see how well March is going to be able to just pick the right heroes for this squad to take the game one. Let's see, Chen is picked up already versus that Underlord. What do you think about Underlord, boys?
He's big and
Killer
ugly.
Pigeon, please.
I'm giving you host analysis. Yeah, he looks pretty ugly. There was a cute discovery. I think Owen found the Snapfire combo with the Ags. It's like, that's cute.
Yeah.
But then you sit there and you go, I still don't think the hero's going to be coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, there are some reasons why Underlord was picked up. People were trying to take Underlord versus Ricky as soon as Ricky became popular, right? But it failed so hard because it really didn't do what you expected it to. It wasn't as strong of a laner as he used to be. Now we'll see with the Kotal, however. Perhaps it's going to be one of those old school combos. Rain of Fire, Illuminate, push out the wave, stack, you know, old school kind of a play.
I feel like he needs Kotal because against Underlord, you can usually just pick a Slark. You have a Chen to keep you healthy. You can just get the stacks up, but when there's a Kotal, you can push him away. You can kind of let your Underlord farm, and now they go for a Rubik, which is... Underlord is one of my favorite heroes to play against as a Rubik. You just steal his Rain of Fire, and you defend all the towers, get a lot of farm, and we know that the Rubik can definitely use that really well.
Bit of Malice as well, just
Yeah,
is much
it's
better
insane.
in Rubik's hands.
It's insane.
You can see the bans as well. They banned out. There's 4 bans obviously in the first stage. That has been changed a little bit, and now we have seen the Timbersaw banned out from Androit, so that makes sense if they're picking Underlord. There's also the Ricky ban, but that's just your standard bans. Right now, Ricky is super popular.
So, food for thought, boys. Considering that Gabby is not playing, which, just to clarify, guys, this is going to be Anna, TI winner, stepping in for them, all right? He's been, under the radar. He's finally popping up for a good cause. Do you think the move for TNC is to leave his pick until last, so that they they can just flex him and make him the most comfortable member, considering he's the outlying factor for their team here?
If he has an idea of heroes that can win games, which Anna usually has, right? He usually wants a hero that can end the game. Doesn't matter at which point. It doesn't have to be a super late game hero, but it's an end game hero. So if they really want him on a role like that, I can see them doing that.
Something that was played yesterday very often was Spectre as well with Necros, right? So that comes to mind. If you mention Anna, like Spectre instantly comes to your mind. So maybe that's the thing that they can go for. We'll see if they decide to go for their win condition in this third pick. I don't believe that's going to be the case, as you have only 1 ban in that second phase to protect it with. Instead, you go with something like Mirana, a little bit more open. What happened to Mirana basically is Arrow got some more damage, but Arrow still did get nerfed quite heavily in the patches before, so your maximum Arrow stun isn't as long. And we'll see if this is going to be your position for Mirana, or perhaps a core one.
When I was talking here with Kyle, I actually don't think that the main points of Mirana got nerfed. Her arrow, okay, but you usually use it to kill the range creep, kill the creep in the forest. The hero is still very mobile. She can invade the enemy woods, so you can kill their big creeps and stuff like that. It's pretty annoying since heroes like to go to the woods right now. So those points, why she was strong, haven't actually been nerfed, okay?
I agree, but at the same time, it feels, I was spamming Mirana a lot back then, and it feels really bad when you rotate from, basically what you're doing is you're killing the range creep, right, securing the experience, then you go for the big camp to get level 2, and then you go to rotate mid because you have arrow and starfall. That's a lot of damage, or maybe leap you took, whatever. You hit that arrow and it just doesn't last long enough to get that kill, and you kind of feel like your movements are wasted. Yeah,
but you know that psychological factor? You stay in the woods, you kill their big creeps, and their mid laner is constantly afraid. He's constantly moving in patterns he wouldn't want to, and that psychological factor is always there, so you don't even have to go
and
for
speaking of killing creeps, they're playing versus a Chen. So that arrow, even if it doesn't deal as much damage, if your point is to just constantly kill off Chen's creeps, can work really well.
That's a fair point. It's to the Mirana being off map, right? It feels like that's something that's kind of waned off a bit. Is when you think about the way lane happens right now, it's a lot more static in the beginning, whereas traditionally you used to have things like the Earth Spirit, right? And when you think of like Night Stalker, these heroes that are more scary when you can't see them. Do you think there's any emerging picks you've been experiencing in your pubs that you think are bringing back that style of play a bit more?
Well, Nyx is one of those, definitely. He has been played a lot, and when you don't see him on the map, you are afraid. You kind of have to be together or have wards plus sentries in the entrances to the jungle. On the other hand, though, Nyx really likes to get some farm, so you would, in the best case scenario, like to show a bit, but if you're not, then the pressure is
We have
be
a
enough.
very old school 2 pickups right here. We have a Sven on one side as probably their win condition and hard carry. On the other, they instantly answer with Slark, because Slark is a known counter, at least was before, versus the Sven. Now my question is, with the recent item changes to Mask of Madness, to Battle Fury, will perhaps Sven be a bit stronger? You have that Axe as well that you can utilize.
I still think that carry matchup, Slark destroys Sven, right?
He should. The only thing is, your power spikes, your win condition, they come a little bit faster when you're playing with the Sven. But at the same time, you're playing versus a Chen Centaur, so you won't be able to, you shouldn't be able to at least get to those win conditions. Right now, TNC does look much stronger, specifically because of this Slark.
I really like Androit to somehow enable the Underlord so that he can at least stand at the towers and defend them, because if he's not, but it's going to be extremely hard against the Slark lane, so I'm not sure what they're going to do right now. Slark seems to me like he's going to have a free game.
Yeah, and Void Spirit is now picked up as well, so you know what you're playing against on mid lane. Something like Nodi would be alright for them, but could be a little bit too greedy. So you can think about, I haven't really seen the bans in the end, but Ember Spirit is there still, that's highly contested versus Void Spirit. Something like a Monkey King also comes to my mind.
Razor?
Razor, all these heroes that are able to play make, right? To be active off of the mid lane early on after winning the lane versus Void Spirit. So you have to have those two check marks. Right now, everything else is kind of under control for them.
Has Huskar been banned though?
Ember, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
Huskar, I haven't seen. It's always a cheese pick that you
Yeah.
have to think about. Definitely, but they go for the Ember Spirit. It's just a hero with high mobility that's really strong versus the Void Spirit later on in the game. The lane itself is completely down to skill.
Yeah,
If Void
definitely.
Spirit, there's a chance for outplay from both sides, right? But it becomes a little bit easier for Ember Spirit to hunt him down later.
That, and actually I would favor Ember a little bit because Void Spirit has no way to break the shield. It's really hard for him to break the shield, right? And on the other hand, Ember Spirit hits one sleight of fist and he's breaking the physical damage shield. So, but then again, is this Ember really gonna do much against a Centaur who's gonna go for a pipe? I'm not too sure.
It's a fair comparison, right? Because I think Ember's maybe one of the few heroes that wasn't necessarily hurt by Void Spirit. Because you think of elusive type heroes, right? Like the Pucks we've been seeing all the time, Yule's builders. The Remnant just counters them, right? Do you think like Ember is one of the best choices whenever you see the Void Spirit come out?
I'm not sure because I talked about it that the mechanic where you can instantly stun someone from the Yules is actually broken, right? And you can catch the Ember that way. You just Yule him and you put him into the Remnant. So that can be a way to catch the Ember and there's no save on the other side.
Also, there's the Aghanims build as well that works really well versus the Ember Spirit. The only thing is, the thing that I really like about Android's draft is they have many ways of dealing with the Chen and the power push that he brings early on. You have the Sven, you have your Mirana as well to deal with that. You have Underlord and Kotal to constantly outpush. Then again, TNC's draft looks better, more well-rounded. If they manage to dodge all these spells, if they manage to just have a decent laning stage, I don't think they will be stoppable later on.
I actually also think that TNC's got this. I don't know how they deal with the Slark. If they don't deal with the Slark, he's gonna go off and they don't really do anything to him.
Okay. Well, I believe we are going to actually have our first series cast by a few remote casters. I'm just going to check if they're actually on the call. Danog, Lacoste?
Hello.
Hello, boys. How's it going?
Oh, there
we have a camera.
Oh, he's got a webcam. Oh, and I'm loving it. Look at that. All right, make
Yeah,
sure you
that's
keep
right.
the nips hidden. Otherwise, we're going to get banned on Twitch. Okay?
yeah, you got to subscribe for that content. Like, you know, there's stuff happening with the economy. I got to keep the income flowing in somehow, right?
Set a donation
No
goal.
judgments
Set
here.
a donation goal and say you'll DM them pics.
Yeah. You gotta subscribe to that. But 2 Australians for TNC, that's pretty pog, right?
I knew you'd be excited about that, right? The moment I heard Anna, I was like, I know who's on this series. I know who's going to just be milking that. It's like the Aussie boys are coming out. I still don't have any UK boys.
I mean, Tanner is there occasionally, so
Yeah, but
that could
he
work
hasn't
for
won
you. I
yet.
was trying to find a flag, but all I could find is a sock. So, you know, come on, Australia, let's go.
Well, at least the sock is clean.
Is it?
It is.
Is it? I
Yes,
hope
it's
so.
clean. Yeah, I've been working on a lot of self-improvement, a lot of self-care, doing my lizard cosplays. So,
Yeah.
you know, we'll see how that all works out.
That's a fair point, actually, boys. Because, like, you know how I was talking about washing hands right now?
Please.
Like, he needs to buff up a bit more. But you know how I was talking about, like, washing hands right now? I've noticed, like, my skin's getting very dry. I discovered that actually moisturizer has another use. It's really good for handling dry skin. Did you guys know this?
Yeah, I noticed as well. It's really good.
Yeah.
That usage of moisturizer surprises me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be sure to use moisturizer for that. Do we have Lacoste on the line? Lacoste is ready.
People, what's happening? I'm ready. I thought you guys forget me.
No,
You know?
I didn't forget you. I was leaving the best till last because we had discount Lizard, discount Lacoste, and I couldn't come up with one for you. Do you have like a Croatian superstar you love?
Did we
Not really. I mean, I love myself. I don't know if that counts.
All right, you're a discount Lacoste. Too.
This got my okay.
So, how are you boys feeling about these lineups? Actually, because we've heard from the panel that they're big TNC fans.
Big TNC fans? Well, I have to agree on that one. They have Anna. This is a free Slark game. They don't have a real counter. He can get out of every single stun they throw at him, and it's going to be really easy to kite against the Sven. Also, Mirana. She received a huge amount of buffs, 2 extra damage, level 1, which is pretty imbalanced if you ask me. Arrow lands.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But
On the scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you to see Australian player back in the game?
I mean, KP's always there, right? So that's always good. My big thing was whenever a TI came around, you'd get those countries that had like, you know, 1 representative, you know, Puppy with Estonia and all that. Australia always had 2. And that's the thing. Like, if one got knocked out, you always had a second one to cheer for. So I'm pretty happy with it all. I remember with the panel, they were talking about, you know, oh, how much Dota has Arna been playing? You know, is he going to adjust to the meta? Does he know that much? He's been playing nothing.
It does not matter. I mean, he didn't know about the aggro, and he won a TI, you know?
True.
So I don't expect him to do bad in this kind of situation, and it's a good matchup for him. He's playing Slark against Underlord. Underlord adjusted accordingly to Ring of Protections to mitigate any kind of early physical damage coming out from either Chen or his creeps, and Slark himself.
Yeah. I mean, it's like riding a bike, you know? You never really forget how to play Dota. Well, maybe eventually, but...
Do you know that 37% people in the world don't know how to ride a bike? No, you don't, because
Really?
they just made that up.
Ah, very good. I mean, how hard is it to ride a bike? You know, just don't fall, XD.
True. It also depends how old are you. I don't know, if you say just don't fall to a 2-year-old, it's not going to be very effective.
Maybe they should get good. But, oh, nice little leap coming through from Anna onto Boomy here. Is he going to be able to pick up the kill? Not quite, but he's getting a lot of stats, as you were saying. It's a pretty good Slark game at the very start.
I mean, the buff on Mirana makes this lane unplayable for Slark. Just kidding. Like, Slark gets 2 points in Essence Shift, Orb of Venom, every single time Underlord gets close. Like, he's about to die. Like, they don't necessarily need to get the kills on the bottom lane, the extra region they're getting from Hedris and the
When smartphones are expensive, the family has to share one. Step up with Boost Mobile and get 4 phones for free. Switch to Boost Mobile and get 4 lines for $25 per line with unlimited data and 4 free Samsung Galaxy A20 phones, all on our super fast network.
The Chance Aura will keep Slark alive. March will be pulling the lane back. And the most important thing is that they get levels on the bottom lane. Nice arrow on March.
So,
Face judgment.
He can't
doesn't have
man
the
fight him at the moment. 60 damage from a Trophy Aura.
yeah, pretty spicy to have to come up against that sort of thing. And saving the arrow for the perfect time. Boomy used a mango, I think, to be able to get that one off. And without that headdress regen, it's a little tougher task for Anna to start contesting this lane.
If they wanted to have a killer lane, they would have put Rubik on the lane with Slark, more controlled, the extra stun. But right now, Rubik is pressuring the Sven on the top lane. He is third in terms of CS at the moment, but this is the thing I like. The huge buff that Ring of Tarrasque received, so you can buy it at the start. It's 4.5 regen per second and 150 HP. Like, look at Centaur right now. Pretty unkillable.
Yeah, 1200 HP, just happily contesting, and Rubik standing pretty far forward as well, just trying to stop as much of the farm that comes through, disrupt it with the Fade Bolt to reduce some of that hero damage, gets those easy denies off as well. Speaking of little things that have changed in the patch, what are your thoughts on one of the biggest things that I saw was the draft order, particularly the ban order changing, getting 4 bans in the first phase now and then going 1-1 instead of the 3-2-1. It means that that first pick isn't quite as valuable anymore because you used to be able to, you know, pick your second hero and then immediately ban out 2 counters to it.
Yeah, correct. And I think it's gonna be like less cheesy strats because of that. How's mid lane doing? We didn't talk about the mid lane. This matchup should be slight favorite for Void Spirit. Maybe I just love pink more than orange.
Yeah,
Pink
nice little
purple.
dodge there. Yeah, coming through. They're going to try and go in deeper. They've got 2 heroes for it and the level 6 up onto Armel, but actually it's on cooldown for another couple seconds.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It's hard to get a kill in this lane unless one of them overextends. Both of those heroes very elusive, hard to kill, and especially Ember Spirit. I mean, he can go back to the base, TP back to Remnant, full HP, has a bottle to work with.
Yeah, I mean, and do you think we'll be seeing a Void Spirit Aghanims in this one?
Not necessarily a first item, but Yule Scepter to set things up with Ether Remnant, and second item Aghanims is fine.
I think it's straight busted. Like 4-second AoE silence, and it gives you more of a physical damage reduction. That's pretty good, especially against heroes like, you know, the Sven and the Underlord, who are going to be doing a decent amount of physical.
I think going for Yule Scepter first is better. You can dodge the stuns, remove the blinding light, you can remove the Ember Spirit chains at one point, and once again setting the Ether Remnant with it is so good.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. You know, if you win at first item, the build up is just too tough. You know, you feel like you don't have any game at all. If you get ganked constantly, you can't really do anything about it.
Centaur is level 6, which means that they can work with Stampede, play more aggressive on the side lanes, especially on the bottom lane, but they need to rotate one more hero to get a kill. Mid lane will be a lot of trading, nothing too much unless one of the heroes just drop low, and there's rotation from position 4. Tims, he got caught.
Yeah, he's going to be picked off, trying to stop some of this farm coming out. He's got his Fate Bolt up in another 5 seconds if he wants to go the extra cheeky play, but it's going to cost him his life, maybe? Will that Fate Bolt be able to reduce the damage enough? No, it's the Illuminate that comes through. Finishing him off and getting a nice little bit of gold for this Keeper of the Light.
Keeper of the Light was very active in the jungle, just stacking the camps for Sven, who's about to hit level 7. 4 points in cleave to increase the farming, also just finish his Mask of Madness. I think Android's lineup relies so much on Sven. Like Ember Spirit can scale, but this Sven he needs to pop off, and they are on the timer right now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Speaking of a timer, Anna, permanent agility, getting those stacks start to build up, just at 1 so far, but it's only a matter of time, you feel, until
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. What have you been up to, by the way, during all this self-isolation that's been going on, other than...
This is how I live, dude.
Years of practice?
For me, yeah. I've been practicing my whole life for this. I'm prepared. You know, staying inside, playing video games.
Easy life.
Pretty easy, I would say. I kind of miss my Dota family, but at least we can hang out online.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Boomy, he's getting gone on a little bit. Has to use all 3 of his leaps, and Mel's still able to get the pick off anyway as well. At the same time, KP takes out the tower on the top side, so that's a lot more of the jungle opened up, but you feel like they might be rotating away from that section soon enough.
Their damage is pretty limited. Like, all they are relying on is Sven. Once he gets that item, he's going for Crystallis, which I like. Even though the item got nerfed, it's still very good on these items. Even on Void Spirits, Ember Spirit, you can still rush.
Do you feel like it was nerfed? Like, I know they nerfed the damage, but they upped the crit chance, right, by 10%.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Let me just check that real quick so I don't look dumb twice in a row.
No, it's like, it was nerfed damage-wise by like 10, but they also upped the crit by 10%. And as we're talking, and fight's happening right outside the Roche pit. He's in a little bit of trouble, having to pop the Stampede to be able to make him live, but
Dire's bottom tower
they decided just to back off for now.
The cost increased by 200. That's the nerf.
Also that, yeah.
Yeah.
And doesn't build into Blood as well, right?
Do you even want
Or it
to
still
build Bloodthorn? Oh, no, you don't want to build Nullifier. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't know why they changed it. So it doesn't mute anymore.
Yeah, just constantly dispels, right?
Yes.
Just all
Okay,
these
so-
little changes.
So Underlord's going for Road of Atos. They feel like they need an extra ability to catch people up because their lineup is very limited. Like relying on Sven to run in and use a stun or just chains or Sacred Arrow is really not a good way to start a fight. And this game might be completely over in the next 15 minutes. You want to build that Diffusal Blade on Slark. He will join the team fights. Void Spirit is having a good time going for that Yule Scepter I was talking about. Two elusive cores, which are pretty hard to get, and there's no real catch. Also, one big ult they need to heavily commit is Below the Wisp if they want to get a kill.
Yeah, what do you think was the justification behind this Keeper of the Light? Was it for the cooldown reduction on something, or... Oh, they're going in onto Ember Spirit. He's going to be able to get away. Yeah, with the Chakra. Do you think that was the reason behind picking it, or was it the Will-O-Wisp, or was it maybe the Blinding Light to be able to push him back into a Pit of Malice or something like that?
These two cores don't care too much about the Blinding Light. The one can dispel it, otherwise relies on magical damage. When I talked about heavily committing, I didn't think heavily committing is
Yeah.
like casting it on your tier 1 tower, which is gonna fall anyway.
And then it didn't even catch KP, or it did, but very briefly. That's not really who you want to be going on, right? You're 1800 HP Centaur with 13
Well, it
armor.
depends if you want to end this game quickly or not for your team.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower
The game will end, it's just a matter of, which way is it going to go. Looking like TNC's favor right now.
has fallen.
Even though it's only 1k lead, they need to use this Sven. Like, he's gonna hit his peak, going for Aghanim Scepter, or just kidding, Aghanim Scepter and BKB. Well, he will get kited. He does not have a clear target in the fight. These 3 cores, Centaur's too tanky. You have Void Spirit, so if they can't catch him, he's not gonna die. Same goes for Slark.
Yeah, I'm seeing as well they're building up a Chrysalis onto this Ember Spirit as well. So, multiple crit sticks coming out. They must really value it quite highly, even with the changes to it.
It's still, I mean, in the previous patch, it was the most cost-efficient item in the game. I was surprised more heroes were not buying it. It's still one of the best items, for sure.
Yeah. You can see Androit, they're backing up Natsumi on this bot side, trying to take some real estate on the map.
I come every year to see the communities.
Miller Lite shining a light on moderators for Twitch is just amazing to me.
We can't do what we do without the countless number of mods.
They're unsung heroes.
Being able to meet Zach for the first time, that's gonna be dope.
It's really important to me to give the LGBTQ community a place they can be safe.
I used to be terrified to be myself.
Cheers.
Been there for each other, man.
No doubt.
I'm getting like choked up.
Thank you, Miller Lite, for supporting the gaming community at Twitch.
Use that level 12 Sven to be able to do it. Pops his Mask of Madness to try and chunk down this tower as quickly as he can. Don't think they'll be contesting it all too much. But in the meantime, topside, they're positioning themselves around this tower. The tier 2 tower, Boccarino
Radiant's
sitting above it.
bottom tower has fallen.
A little bit of a scary place to be.
They will have 2 items finished on side of TNC. Ana will finish his Diffusal Blade. Void Spirit only needs Void Stone to finish off his Yule Scepter, and this is where they want to take a fight. They also need to bring Dusts and Sentry Boards for Mirana ulti. If you don't play for a long time against a certain hero, you kind of forget what the hero can do. Like this hero was extremely popular 6 months ago, was first pick material, and now we couldn't see her for this last 6 months.
Yeah. It's funny how like such a... Oh, I don't think it was really a small change. It was just a series of progressive mini changes and then a larger change to that stun that made it a lot less playable than it used to be.
Also, the thing that contributed to Mirana not being popular is these like offlaners who had the built-in Dispel and the Legion Commander Abaddon Omni Knight, so Arrow was not really effective.
Yeah. Now, I know it's only 15 minutes into the game, but could this be the fight that decides it? You've got a smoke coming out from Androit. They're trying to invade the jungle, maybe catch out some of these farming cores. Slark's just down here farming the ancient stack. You would think that Sven wants to try and join in on one of these fights. He's leading the net worth right now.
The prize is mine.
Okay, Sven is extremely farmed. This Rod of Atos might help them, keeping them in place. They are controlling the outpost to get the vision of that area. Seems like that's gonna be our first clash. Prepare your hypest hype.
He's leading into it, uses the stun onto the Chen. Doesn't really do all that much against it though. They catch a lot of people in the Pit of Malice, get all of the heals off as well, and Sven, he's already down at 25% HP. He could get picked off if he's not too careful. You got KP running in. They already used the Stampede, and Ocarina, he's going to try and bring his team away with the Dark Rift. Will they catch everyone?
Whoa,
no, Natsumi goes down just beforehand. Oh, trying to get him just on the edge there, but wasn't quite able to, and you'd have to think that's a tower being threatened now by TNC on the bot side.
Well, this is the problem with the lineup that they have. Sven can go in, but there's no real follow-up. You can try to use the chains to keep someone in place. Underlord with the Pit of Malice, Rod of Atos, but like they don't want to be in the front lines against this Slark. And I love the build on Ana. Straight into the Fused Blade, no shenanigans, no drums, going for BKB. He knows that there's no real threat for him once he gets a BKB, unless he decides to man fight against the Sven.
Yeah. It's a wise choice, you know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And we've seen, you know, Ana very, very capable. Is there a counter smoke perhaps coming out here from TNC? No, not quite. I thought they were grouping up for an express purpose, but actually they're going to be the ones getting caught out. Yeah, Arrow together. Yeah, but don't have the follow-up on it. And if anything, Ana's the one chasing in. He actually gets pushed out of the Pit of Malice. And could he live because of it? Great stun coming out from KP, catching onto Bok, as well as this Mirana here, and they'll both get picked off. That's more permanent agility for Ana. He's going to continue the chase, following up after them. There's the Yule Scepter coming in clutch. Yeah, hits onto Mac as well, and he wants more. KP, he's moving forward, ready with his Blink Dagger. Will he be able to catch out the Keeper of the Light? Go onto the high ground as well. He reveals himself, he might, but no. I'm just gonna be calm, push the tower. They've got the ranged, the siege wagon there.
Well, you were not wrong. It's ranged siege wagon.
Yeah.
And you can see how confident they are. Slark didn't even pop the ulti. Chen still had the ulti ready to heal him up if needed.
Felt a little bit disconnected there with some of the stuff being used onto Ana. You know, throwing the arrow without the rest of his team there. Just didn't feel like the efficient play.
Once again, they missed the combo. Atos into arrow missed.
And now they're going to connect onto 2 with this, is that a stolen Pit of Malice? It is, so it's quite a lot of lockdown now on TNC's side.
Well, if Underlord has this green Pit of Malice and then you steal it, what kind of green do you have on Rubik?
I mean, I'm red-green colorblind, so I'm not the guy to talk to about this.
Oh, Essence Ring. That's a very good item.
Here we go. They're going in again onto this Ember Spirit, and that magic block won't save you now. They're chasing onto Bokarina as well. He's not like a Centaur. He can't just pop his ultimate and run away. He's going to get caught out by the rest of the team. Tim's, of course, contributing a lot to the team fight with that Fade Bolt right at the end.
And this game just feels over. It even felt over, as I said before, the clash, considering the the lineup that Androit has at the moment and what the TNC has. Like, they're superior in every single role at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, did you feel like they needed something along the lines of a 4-star or something else that allows the Sven to actually move around in these team fights when he gets caught out?
I think it's just the composition of the team, who does what. You have these two supports, Keeper of the Light and Mirana. None of them have guaranteed stun. It's really hard to gank if you don't have a setup for Mirana early on. Like, there's no Shadow Demon, there's nothing to set things up for him, and now they smoke.
Yeah, they're trying for something. Are they going to try for this this Radiant outpost? Maybe not fall too far behind on the XP graph, because they're behind as it is. 8k net worth.
Radiant are scanning.
You can see KP, he doesn't want anything to do with this. He says, I gotta come in, I gotta disrupt all this. They will get the experience coming through, and KP's kind of caught out on his own. They're going to combo it together with the arrow, finally getting some semblance of communication on the team. Will they get KP? They will. They're able to pop off the healing hand as well onto the rest of the team, so TNC are pretty ready to fight, but in the meantime, they're able to get most of the people away with that Dark Rift, and Mac, he looks like he's going to be reasonably healthy. Oh,
They got the kill, and because of the new formula, 600 gold for killing a Centaur.
Yeah, pretty spicy. So, could have gone a lot worse, honestly, for Androit. They got the experience from the outpost, they got the pick off, they forced an ultimate out of the Underlords, so they know that they can instantly take another team fight now, and that's why they TP'd up towards this top side, you know?
And TNC will use this info. There's no Underlord ulti, there's no Will-o'-the-Wisp. Sven also does not have ulti for another minute, and they want to secure the tower. They might even threaten the high ground with it. There's a siege creep unit approaching.
Well, with no Sven ulti, is that Roche time? Or would you actually be pushing the high ground?
Double damage on Void Spirit, they could go for a high ground.
Yeah,
they kind of lack the tower damage unless Centaur pops the Retaliate. He has 13 charges and he can slowly siege, but seems like they're indecisive whether they want to go for high ground or Roche. A lot of time wasted.
Yeah. I think it was kind of a necessary death there on the Ember Spirit, just pushing the wave out enough so that they're not able to pressure that high ground just yet. It means that when he's up, the Sven ultimate will be as well. 10 seconds left on it. So, gives them some sort of chance, but that Aegis, it's going the way of the, you would assume, Ana. No, looks like Armel's going to be the one that takes it.
Seems like they don't think Slark can die. I mean, he didn't die yet. Chen still has mech ready. Ulti will be up in 40 seconds.
Nearly has the Vlads as well, so that's just even more lifesteal for the entire team.
This is the best creep in the game, sorry. Cabal Foreman, the most swaggy one.
Yeah, just the way he struts around?
The way he looks.
Yeah.
Like, no, he doesn't do anything.
That movement speed aura though, look, they got things to do, they got places to be. Oh, Ana, he's going in deep. I love this. They probably just told him, look, just dive in, we'll be able to save you every single time.
Oh, he gets him with the Orchid.
Yeah.
Burn. GG.
Just looks away, you know, cool guys don't look at explosions.
Unless you're watching Michael Bay's movies.
That's true. What's the last film that he did?
I don't know. I stopped. I stopped watching those movies. Sven, Superman, he's in.
Well, Superman could be super dead
out.
pretty soon. There's no backup. Oh, that was close.
He's super tanky. 3000 HP. 14 armor. He deals a lot of damage, but as I already said a couple of times, there's no real follow. He does not have a hero to play with.
Yeah, it's looking rough for Androit. It's kind of like delaying the inevitable, right? You feel like TNC, they've got, what, 3 minutes left until this Aegis is going to be reclaimed, so they're just getting the next couple of items that they want. I think they've nearly built up a halberd onto the center, which will be huge.
Sven's still far away from that BKB. If the halberd comes before, he could just completely cripple him in a fight.
Trying to go again onto this Centaur. No arrow this time just yet to be able to combo him down. Here comes the arrow right at the end, and they're going to be able to pick off KP. So that's another 50 seconds that they've bought themselves, and I'm sure that Natsumi's going to maybe try and farm up that BKB, but not quite. They're actually trying to continue the aggression straight away.
Dissimulate? He couldn't get it.
Well, it's only the Aegis though, and they've got the rest of the team backing him up now. Ana, he's here on the back line, ready to try and get some essence stacks up onto Bocarino. He's just whacking away as much as he can, and that's a lot stolen. He rotates straight away through onto Mac, and he pops.
I mean, that's a buyback from a Centaur. Not sure that was even needed. He would be out in 20 seconds. Has Pipe Stampede ready now, just wants to throw the body in front. Sven will have ulti in 2 seconds, so this is the time where they want to take this fight. If they lose the Raxes, they will be crippled.
Yeah. Still another 25 seconds until not only the high ground defense of the Underlords there, but also just the damage reduction that comes through. Forced to pop the glyph there, so no creep wave there, but just want to make sure that that Rax can live for a bit longer, but doesn't look like it'll make that much of a difference. Melee Rax goes down, and TNC, they extend their lead.
4 bounty runes to be picked up. They're pinging it out. Still tier 1 tower on the tops. They want to TP and get it. They also see Sven pushing the top lane. So this should be a secure tier 2 tower on the bottom.
Yeah. What is Sven's kryptonite at this point? Because is it just Ana just whacking him away once he's built up a lot of these essence shift stacks?
He can't kill him if they don't lock him down with the 5-second arrows. Slark is not dying, and yeah, Slark with the basher. Even if you get that BKB, they still have ways to deal with you. Heaven's halberd, just a kiting potential against the Sven.
And he's even building up into the Skadi now, so making himself that much tougher to kill. Fight happening in the mid lane, and Ana is not there, so that Stampede may be used for Centaur to get away, but it could just as well been used to give Ana a little bit of time to get to the team fight. Though now they've gone in on this Void Spirit. He gets a nice Resonant Pulse away, but be enough to be able to live. Ana, he misses his pounce, but he's going to be able to do a ton of damage through. Great stun coming out from KP to be able to knock down 2. But Ana catches that arrow as well. No one's dying. What is happening right now? This isn't C Dota.
Okay, let's go back, kill 2 people so we can be satisfied. The only one who died is Void Spirit KP. He understands how much damage he can tank, and he's about to finish that Heaven's Halberd. I think I said that a couple of times already. He was close, but used that buyback in the previous fight. Sven will have BKB after that. Also Sven approaching level 20. If he goes for -6 seconds Storm Hammer cooldown with Chakra Magic, he can just perma-stun people.
Very nice. Do you think that was the strat that they had at the very start?
I don't think so. There's not much synergy between Chakram and the other heroes. Like, you can use double slight, arrow, reduce the cooldown on arrow, but it's not that effective.
I suppose not. Oh, they've gone in again onto this Ember Spirit, and Ana, he catches the arrow, but the Dark Pact able to remove it straight away. He might be in a little bit of trouble here. Pops the Shadow Dance just in time to be able to stop the Sven stun from doing a lot of its work, and again, backing off with no deaths.
I think Slark is just fine with that, getting a couple of essence shifts. They already took the Melerex. And as this game progresses, it's gonna be much, much harder for Sven. Right now, he's on his peak. Like, he can only get 1 extra item.
Yeah, 1 extra item, get that level 20, then it's pretty much just downhill from there. Or creating space for the rest of his team to come into it, because you can see Ember Spirit, he's well behind. Speaking of people being behind though, KP caught behind enemy lines, and Slark, he's just in the middle of this pit of malice.
He's cliffed. They forced him on the high ground to drag him down.
They drag him down. Was that the right play though? He's able to now get away, popping his BKB, using the Superman launch through onto the creep wave. He'll be able to live for now. Slark, he's continuing to chase through. Still got that bottle charge on the Void Spirit if they're trying to get a bit more damage through with the illusions, and Well, Slarky jumps through onto the Ember Spirit. This is the team fight that never ends. KP jumps through onto him. The Will-O-Wisp coming out a little bit too late, catching him with 2 inside the Pit of Malice as well. But the sustain on TNC is absolutely insane. Still a minute until this Ember Spirit's going to become back online. Sven goes down, dead for a minute. Bocarino, him as well, 50 seconds. Arna, he's going to pounce onto this Varana, and that could be GG right there.
Slark is way too tanky. Like, he can go in, do whatever he wants. He knows that they will back him up. Almost 3,000 HP with 39 armor. So even if Sven starts hitting him, like, there's no way they kill him. The positioning from March was extremely good throughout the whole game. Just sitting in the back lines, popping the mech, not getting close. And this is the problem with these heroes who don't have like ways of even. I mean, you have Ember Spirit, you have Sven with Aghanim Scepter. You can close the gap, but you can't just ignore the front line.
Yeah, and it felt like by the time that the Sven had the Aghanim Scepter,